Hello everyone, and welcome back to another GIS mathematics lecture video. And in this lecture video, I want to walk through some examples using the cofunction identities that we've discussed in the previous videos. And again, just to recap those, right, we have the sine of theta is equal to the cosine of 90 minus theta, right? Cosine of theta is equal to the sine of 90 minus theta. We have the secant of theta is equal to the cosecant, which is CSC of 90 minus theta, and the cosecant of theta equals equal to the secant of 90 minus theta, and that the tangent and cotangent are related in the same way. Right, the tangent is equal to the cotangent of 90 minus theta, and that the cotangent, finally, of theta is equal to the tangent of 90 minus theta. I know I went through those kind of quickly. I just want to give these to us as a reference point. If any of these were confusing, I encourage you to go back and rewatch the previous videos until you sort of have these not necessarily memorized, but be able to recognize and remember which ones go with which. So let's go through an example. Right, let's say we have a theta equal to 75. Right. So we would say the sine of 75 is equal to the cosine of what angle? Well, we know here that the sine of 75 is equal to the cosine of 90 minus 75. So this is going to be equal to 90 minus 75, which is going to be 15. So we have the sine of 75 is going to be equal to the cosine of 15. And let's go through another example. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Let's say we have the secant of 30 is going to be equal to the cosecant of what angle? Well, again, right, the cosecant is going to be 90 minus the angle. So that's going to be 90 minus 30, which is going to be 60. Right, so the secant of 30 is going to be equal to the cosecant of 60. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's say we have the secant of pi over 4 is equal to the cosecant of what angle? Now all of a sudden we're dealing with radians, right? And you have to remember that for radians, right, this relationship is pi over 2 minus pi over 4, right? And to do this, we have to make them have the same denominator. So that's going to be 2 pi over 4 minus pi over 4. Subtract the numerators, it's going to be pi over 4. Right, so in this case, the secant of pi over 4 is actually going to be equal to the cosecant of pi over 4. Right, switching this back to degrees, right, for a second, this is 45 degrees, right? Because pi over 2 is 90. Right, so this is actually important, right? We're not going to talk about this in depth right now, but what we've just discovered here is that the secant and the cosecant of a 45-degree angle are the same. Right? And the same thing holds for sine and cosine, right? The sine and cosine of a 45-degree angle are the same. But that's not really important right now. What's important is just realizing that all we're doing here to convert using these cofunction identities is to simply subtract whatever we're given from 90 or pi over 2, depending on if we're in degrees in this case or radians in this case. So hopefully that makes sense. And as always, please reach out. Thank you.